Oh, we are live. It's been a fair while, I think, since I've done my lives, a solo live for sure. Apologies, first of all, if you can hear any background noise. The kids next door are making such loud noise, but we move. So today's topic, as you can tell from the thumbnail, from the title, from the thing scrolling across the bottom of the screen, very it's not even controversial, shall we say, but I think it's very divided as into what people's plans are with Vinted Pro. So I'm hoping Yo-Yo is going to join us tonight because I know he loves when we speak about Vinted in the chat with Luke over on Warders Clobber. So I hope he comes and lets us know his thoughts tonight. But yeah, guys, let me know your thoughts with regards to Vinted Pro. Whether you are going to use it as a reseller. I mean, I use Vinted to snipe on, as we all know, but I don't really sell on there. And I say I don't really sell on there. There has been a couple of things I've added on there in the last couple of days, and I'll tell you why I've done that. But let me know, first of all, what your thoughts are on Vinted Pro. Are you going to use it? I've heard a lot of people talk about actually leaving eBay completely and going fully over to Vinted Pro due to a number of reasons. So yeah, let me know your guys' thoughts, whether you are on the fence, whether you are 100% in, you're going to leave eBay, whether you are in, you're going to do it alongside eBay, whether you're going to use Vinted Pro as a sort of subsidiary to eBay where you might list a couple of things on there. Yeah, keen to know your thoughts. Any questions, eBay related, life related, YouTube related, boxing related, big fight this weekend for the people who are into the boxing. Anthony Joshua fights tomorrow. So any boxing chat, all for it. And I'm here for an hour, so keep me company. But let me go to the chat. Gary was first in. Evening, going to switch over to the TV, so can't use the chat. Watching in and listening whilst getting some photos and listens done before the UK call. By the way, good podcast the other day with Luke and Jamie. Yeah, so for the people who do not know, over on Luke's channel, Warders Clobber, really good chat with young Jamie from Wales the other day. He's been on my channel before as well. Just talking about new business models, about growth and about targets and goals, all that good stuff. So if you haven't seen it, go and check out the replay. Simon straight in and says on the fence, and I have put a little poll up on YouTube somewhere, so please vote on there and I'll try and reveal the results at the end if I know how to do it. But you're on the fence, Simon. So is that on the fence whether you'll sign up at all, or on the fence whether you will use it as your main way to sell items? I mentioned in my last video, actually, there's so many different ways, even more so now, to sell items as a reseller. We've got eBay, we've got Vinted, we've got Whatnot, we've got the car boot sale, we've got Auction House, we've got Facebook Marketplace, we've got Gumtree, we've got Depop, we've got probably many other sites that I've missed out here. Let me know if I missed any. But there's so many different ways to do this game. It's really interesting to see whether people split their items or they cross-list to all the different sites. I actually saw yesterday a cross-listing platform's coming to the UK, a new one, which is quite big in America, but I can't for the life of me think of its name now. Anyway, so that's coming over, so more people might look to cross-list. But I believe it doesn't include Vinted. I've never cross-list, but as I mentioned earlier, I have listed a couple of items on Vinted. And the reason behind it is because they're actually Vero items on eBay. So there are a couple of football shirts, and because they've got TikTok across the front, it makes them Vero. So I've actually listed the 3 shirts I've got on Vinted for a lot cheaper price than I could have got on eBay, just because I didn't know. So at this stage, I believe, and this is not quote unquote, I think I'll use Vinted Pro for that, for the items that I know are heavily Veroed on eBay. And to play it safe, I might list them on Vinted. That's the plan so far, but who knows? Lee, good to see you, mate. Always like seeing you on the Tech Wednesday Bolo call to see what cool things you've got. And I know yesterday you showed dinosaurs, and I know a while ago I had the baby one from dinosaurs, and I remember you pointing out as well. So yeah, good to see you, mate. I hope you're well. Simon says, thought I knew what I was going to do, not so sure now. Simon, what's changing your mind? What you having doubts about? Was you kind of, yes, I'm definitely getting it, and now I don't think I am? What's your thoughts? Gary's saying, I'm hoping when Vinted goes pro, they'll open up electronics so I can get in on that. Yeah, that's a good point, Gary. Are they going to open up the other categories for Vinted Pro, because there is other. I mean, I only look at the clothing, but if I just open up the phone now, I think there is a lot of different categories. To be fair, I know there's trainers. Let's have a look. So you've got women's, men's, kids, which is toys and games, ride on, furniture, school supplies, clothing. You got home, which is like textiles, home accessories, tableware, celebrations of holidays. You have got entertainment, which is your video games, music video, games, puzzle, books, pet care on there as well. So there is loads of different categories on there. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see whether they open up Vinted Pro for clothing or if it's for all the other categories as well. Robin's in. Hope you're good. Hi, Steve. Yes, I'm good, mate. It's been if you watched my last video, I think it was my last one. Do you know what? I'm so out of the loop with YouTube at the moment. I'm going to talk about that a bit later as well. But my last video speaking about Leanne, and she's home now resting, and for the next 6 weeks she's at home. So things are all right. I think she's recovering well. The most important thing. I'm trying to keep business as usual as much as possible, but it is difficult because obviously I'm having to do extra stuff as well. So I'm just trying to balance it. But yeah, we are good. Thank you. Tommy Trades. Hope you're well, brother. Good to see you. Georgie, I'm going to wait until the general consensus before I dive in. Yeah, I tend to be like that. I tend to let everyone else jump in first and come and moan about what's terrible about it and compliment what's good, and then make my decision with it. I mean, like we all know with Whatnot, it's not for me right now, live selling. I think I would probably enjoy live selling, but I really don't want to move on to another platform. But I know a lot of people are really enjoying the live selling aspects and doing really well on it. So, yeah, I'm like that. I let other people dive in and then see. Tommy Trade says, I'm keen to give Vinted Pro a go. He's a poet, he didn't know it. Perfect timing, as I have a boatload of clothing in the backlog, trying to refine what will work best on which platform. So that's another thing as well. eBay's trying really hard at the moment with some of the advertising, I think, to actually promote themselves to a younger audience. I think eBay has always been known as kind of for the older generation, shall we say. And I also think that when I go shopping for clothes in the pre-owned category, I normally will go to Vinted over eBay, even for myself as a clothing seller on eBay, funnily enough. But I think eBay is going to really try hard to actually make the platform more trendy for a younger audience. But it will be interesting to see when Vinted Pro comes out, whether they attract that younger audience who might appeal more to the clothing I've got. Who knows? But yeah, I can't see myself going on Vinted Pro and leaving eBay behind. Vinted Pro might be the extra add-on for certain items, potentially, but who knows? Shell's in. Hello, hello. Vinted Pro for the win, I reckon. Yes, Vendu. Thanks, Shell. That's what I was trying to think of. Vendu. That's been very popular in America, and now it's coming over to the UK. So I guess they're going to rival Zip Sale. I haven't really looked into the differences between them. I haven't looked at the pricing or anything. But I think in the UK, quote me if I'm wrong, Zip Sale is the main one in the UK when it comes to cross listings. So they're going to have some serious competition. Carper. When I start back up again, I will use Vinted Pro, but think it will die as death, as prices will be too high for a lot of people, as us resellers want top-end prices. Yeah, so that's another thing that's been mentioned. It was asked the other day in the podcast with Luke and Jamie. Do we think that when Vinted Pro comes out into UK, it's going to kill the opportunity to source on Vinted? And we all 100% agree, absolutely not. I don't think it's going to have any change on that, because you're still going to get your general public who aren't resellers. And I think a lot of the time we all assume that we're all resellers. You're going to get your general public who are still going to list their items on Vinted because it's advertised that place where you can list items, clear your wardrobe and sell it quick. So there's going to be that general public. I think unless Vinted bring in something similar to eBay, where it shows you sold listings, where you can actually search and look at the active and solds, I don't think it will ever change when it comes to sourcing personally. I think eBay is a lot harder to source from. And I will say today, Vinted was down for a little bit today. And I did manage to actually source 3 items on eBay to resell on eBay. First time really ever I've actually gone onto eBay and tried to source. it's more difficult. And I think that is because people can actually see what things are worth a lot easier. Vintage and unique, eBay, low to mid range with sprinkled banners, whatnot, all other clothing, Vinted. Is that the plan? Is that the split for you, Tommy T? Steve saying, not planning on going down the Vinted Pro route, but never say never, although cross-listing doesn't really appeal to me, to be honest. Yeah, Steve, I think that's me right now to a T. If I did do Vinted, it wouldn't be cross-listed. It would be, this is the stuff that I put on Vinted for X reason. This is stuff that goes on for goes on eBay for this reason. Lee's in the UK call this evening. No chance Lee's in the call. I think I see Lee in the UK call probably once a quarter. So we are privileged. Mate, please come and tell me all about your business and all about the cool stuff you've sold and all about your plans for this year. Always like hearing from you. It's so nice to hear from non-clothing people, especially now as I do more clothing. All I speak about is clothing. So when these other categories come up, like Lee and the toys and stuff, it's really interesting because that's what I used to do. I used to do a bit of everything. And actually, speaking about that, I've spoke about it many times, but with the car boot sales coming back in the next couple of weeks, I am going to pick up so many non-clothing items. I actually really miss it. So I'm actually going to pick up the cameras like I used to do. I'm going to pick up the odd video game. If it makes sense and I can fit it into the box system and I can ship it in the boxes I have, I'm no fool. So I'm going to do it. But as a standby, no big items. Today, actually, funnily enough, on Vinted, and Yo-Yo, if you're in, I've mentioned it about 6,000 times and we're only 11 minutes in. On Vinted, I saw a set of lawn bowls with a bag and shoes, and the old me is all over that. In fact, I sent it across to Simon, and even Simon voice noted me back and said, I'm not set up for that. And that's so unlike Simon as well, because Simon's like me. He would have been all over the lawn bowl set. But even on Vinted right now, in the men's like clothing category, some reason lawn bowls are coming up. So there is stuff all over there. Yeah, I want to speak about this, Simon. So Simon's been offered an eBay exclusive deal, reduced fees, but no listing on any other platforms for 12 months. I've heard now from 5 people who have been offered this deal. And the deal is this. So you are not allowed to sell on any other platform. You can't sell on Whatnot. You can't sell on Vinted. You have to stick to eBay, and you have to be exclusive to eBay for 12 months, and you get a reduction in your fees. Now, I probably should have done a secondary poll. If that was offered to you, would you stick with eBay? Now, I said I don't want to personally sign a contract with anyone. And that's because if something was to happen to my eBay account for any reason, would there be like legalities behind me then going off to list on a platform? There might be stuff in the future that I want to do outside of eBay. So does it restrict me? So yeah, let us know in the chat. Would you sign that contract for a reduction in fees? Wonder why I couldn't see all the chat. I was in the wrong channel. Yeah, I do stream it to the other channel. The other channel, really, I don't do much on. I just stream it across there as well. So this is where all the chat will be. Andy, good to see you. Andy had a right result yesterday on one of his items. And I'm not going to say because of our call, but we spoke about it a little bit about sort of researching the fakes and spending a bit more time on the items. And he had a right result. So check out his Instagram. I'll get one and cross this from eBay. It takes seconds and good to have more eyes on your item. And that's always the argument with cross listing. So I'm in the other boat to you, Andy, on that, because I feel like eBay for me is still the #1 platform at the moment. So you can chuck your items onto 12 other sites. Yes, you could get sales from other sites, but the whole cross listing thing really worries me. With regards to when things sell elsewhere. And I know it's well and good that if you're at your computer and something sells on one platform, you can quickly go over and delete it from the other. But I've heard nightmare stories about ZipSal, and this is not personal because I've not used it myself, where things have not auto delisted. And my fear is if that happens overnight, you're looking at a number of defects somewhere along the line. Now, yes, you probably would honor the eBay sale and cancel the others, I guess. But for me, it's just not secure enough to cross list. So yeah, I'm very much a one platform person at the moment. But as I say, I will never say never. I'll never completely say I'm not doing this. Yes, they did. They reached out to a number of people, Tommy. Very, very interesting. Yeah, Benji, that was my first thoughts. Why are eBay reaching out to certain people to basically say to them, commit to us for 12 months? Are they scared of Vinted? Or, yeah, it's hard to argue against that statement. Why are they trying to get people to commit? Because they know Vinted Pro's coming, and know it's going to be competition. Yeah, George Ross is in. Hurry up, Vinted. Yes, I know you are a super Vinted, a super for Vinted Pro person. Because I know, George, I think at one point you were selling on Vinted and they stopped you from selling on there. So yeah, you want to get back to it. And God, George, you've got your eggs in lots of basket at the moment. If you're going to go Vinted Pros, you're going to have eBay, Vinted Pro, whatnot. What else, George? Come on, Depop, bit of Depop now and again. Good to see you, mate. I enjoyed your video earlier. I was watching your video when you were out at the huge charity shop earlier. Good one, mate. Good to see you. Hopefully, George, see you down in Essex, because I plan to come a couple of times this season for the car boot. So hopefully bump into you, mate. Limelight's in. Hello, hello. I'll get one across list from eBay. It takes seconds and good to have more. I think we've done that one, Andy. I think you're double typing, mate. Thank you, Carper. Yes, she is. She is on the mend. Thank you. General public want to sell quick as they want rid, so they start price low on Vinted. Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, the general public do not know what they have, and that's why, as resellers, we can snipe items. Simple as that. They either don't know or they don't care. So for a lot of people, they might have gone out and brought a jacket brand new for £300, worn it all winter, comes to the next winter, and they might say, oh, that jacket, I want to be seen dead in that now. Let me just put it on Vinted for a £5. They forget how much they paid. That's how we can win as snipers. Yeah, Shell, I've heard it from, I said about 5 people so far. I've not been asked yet, though. Bit rude. Today is my first day. I haven't had a sale on eBay in over 90 days so far. Tommy, I had that the other week. It might have been 2 days after I put out the video about my best weekend ever. I was on 0 up until about 7:30 at night, and I was stressing out. Honestly, I was like, what can I do to get a sale? I can't finish on a blank. And I think I finished on about 150 in the end. So fingers crossed. We're coming up to the evening now. So if you've got any offers to send, get them out. Tommy wouldn't sign for the above reason. They cannot guarantee you a sale. Yeah, absolutely. They didn't have auto dealers on Vinted before. It's now been added. I know they've got it on there with Zip Sale, but I've even received many emails, even though I don't use Zip Sale, to say the feature's down at the moment. You have to delist it yourself. It's not 100%. I know nothing's 100%, but I wonder whether this new company coming in, Vendu, is that right? I think I remember the name. When Vendu comes in, is that going to fix some of them issues? Is that going to cause Zip Sale competition? Competition's always good. Same with Vinted Pro and eBay. Although Vinted Pro might not be for me right now, I think to give eBay more competition with whatnot for the live selling, with Vinted Pro for selling, I think eBay will up its game. It's got to. Otherwise, it is going to lose people. How much are they reducing fees by? I don't know 100% because it didn't come to me. I want to say top of my head, 20%. Don't quote me on that, people, because it hasn't come to me yet. If I get the email, I'll update you guys and let you know. How would they even know if you're exclusive, though? Good point. How do they know? Because if I was to sell on Vinted Pro under the name Bob Dylan, why am I thinking of Bob Dylan? It's really old. Bob Dylan. If I was going to set up my Vinted Pro account as Bob Dylan 123, then yeah, how would they know? Is there a way they can track it? Who knows? Carrie's in. Thank you. All the way from the US. If you do not follow Carrie at home, please go and follow her channel. She is absolutely blowing up at the moment, and I'm going to let you know what she's on subscriber wise. She is smashing it, so please go and follow. I saw your video come up earlier, Carrie. I need to watch it. It's the one where you were listing Here we go. She's on 4.2 thousand subscribers already. And she's only recently just come back into the YouTube space. She started a while ago, took a little break, but her videos are absolutely popping off. And her latest one, which I haven't watched yet, she tried to copy Tech's routine for a day. So good luck. I need to watch it. I'm sure it was hell, but good to see you. Thank you for popping in. Andy's saying eBay is number one, but they can't help increasing fees as a percentage. Eventually, it's going to get over 20 to 30%. And who can afford to sell on that basis? They need to rethink their charging structure. Yes, the biggest thing people always say about eBay is the fees. Now, do I think the fees are expensive? Yes, in a way, but in many other ways, no. Because if I was to try and say set up a website and use Google Ads, I don't think for the money that I pay eBay, I can attract the same amount of customer. And I think a lot of the time, I know they charge us an extra cheeky fee. We do have GSP, which is worldwide. So for the people who don't have global shipping switched on, I would suggest doing it because I get loads of sales GSP. I think my sales yesterday out of the 13 I had, I think 4 were GSP. So it's definitely worth having on. But the fees are only going to go up, and it's going to be the same for every platform. I'm not sure what Vinted Pro are offering at the moment for fees, but I can see increases on every single platform in the future. So, but yeah, I think this might create eBay some good competition. Rude, haven't said you'll bump into me in Essex. Well, Michelle, you live in Liverpool, so I can't bump into you in Essex. No, I know you do. We'll have to. I was speaking to Simon and Sam this morning, Michelle, on a Zoom, and I was saying that we need to organise a little boot sale get together down Dunton, because last year went to Dunton. I've obviously met Luke down there, Simon, Sam, Fuzzy Feet, Bowling and Buys was there. There was quite a few faces. So yeah, maybe we need to organise a little get together down Dunton and maybe go out for some like Sunday roast after or something, a little meetup maybe. We'll sort something, I'm sure. This is controversial. I actually might say eBay isn't the number one platform for used clothes in the UK at the moment. I disagree. I think if you look at the stats and look at the numbers and break it down, I think eBay's still number one. Will it always be number one? I think it will, but I think Vinted's going to give it a good run for its money. I think the reason we probably don't feel it's number one at the moment is because all of us resellers, all we ever do is talk about Vinted. So that might be why. So, yeah, we need to look at the stats for that. We can't be chucking out stuff like that, but there will be stats, I guess, that we'll be able to find. I might look into that, actually, and I might produce that on the community page if I can find it. But yeah, I agree. I think when it comes to clothing, my first thought is Vinted when it comes to buying clothing. But I don't know if that's because I spend all my time on there. I mean, today, I went on there this morning at 11 o'clock and I came off at 5:30 to give you an idea. Little breaks in between. But yeah, I spend all my time on there. So that's probably why it's my number one. I am wary of the shiny object syndrome. Currently, I'm naturally fit in additional layers to my business, whatnot, YouTube, editing service and consignment. Is Vinted to stretch too far? Yeah, and that's where I am, Tommy. I feel, well, I'm going to talk about YouTube later on. I am super passionate about growing the crime channel. And I'm just not dedicating the time I want to dedicate it to at the moment. And yeah, I've had things going on. The personal life hasn't helped. But I'm also not putting the time into this channel. And the reason I'm not putting time into this channel, the time I want to put into it, honestly, I'm missing the car boot sales. I'm missing going around with the GoPro, showing the hauls, because they're the ones I like watching. No offense to other reselling channels. I do this myself. There's only so many what sold videos I can watch. I just get bored. I get bored of making them myself. I get bored of watching the others. I like the adventure. So I think sometimes you can spread yourself too thin. I think if I was ever going to do live selling, I think I would have to go up YouTube. I don't think I could do both. I think it's very hard to balance evenings. So yeah, that would be my only thing. But you need to do what works for you and your business. There's no rights or wrongs. I can tell you right now, just do eBay 100%. Why are you messing about with everything else? Someone else is going to say to you, quit eBay, do whatnot. Someone's going to say to you, quit reselling and go and work in Aldi or Lidl. So you've got to do what work to you. And that is the joy with this game. We are all our own bosses. We can pick and choose what we do. Have eBay offered that deal to any sellers not in clothes? Gary, as far as I'm aware, the people who have told me, I'm not going to name names, not going to call them out. The people who have told me they're all clothing resellers. Thanks, Melissa. Yeah, hopefully you guys get some value. And if you do, please hit the like. Sold a Bob Dylan vinyl record yesterday. There we are. See, I knew Bob Dylan from somewhere. Talking of Bob Dylan, this is not Bob Dylan, but look at this cool. Oh, behind the curtain. Look at this little cool one I got. Oh, let me move it in front of the mic. Status Quo. And this is from the 2001 tour. Really good condition. On a good tag for the clothing people who know. On the Screen Stars tag. And this was a little snipe. And I was looking at comps earlier, and it should be £50 for that. Who would have thought someone paid £50 for that shirt? But what is it? 2001. Yeah, so vintage shirt on a good tag, size large. This is me. This is like my whatnot show. So here we are. I'll start the bidding at £1 on this one. Let's get the bids in. But yeah, I do like the music tees, I must admit. No worries, Carrie. My pleasure. I don't say like kind things about people who, you know, for the sake of it. You are doing really well, and you have that natural personality for YouTube. So keep going, please, because it's a good watch. I'm really enjoying this pro or no pro format you're doing. It's very engaging. Yeah, I think it's such a split. It's similar to Whatnot. I'm very much a case of Whatnot's great for the people who think it's great. It's not right for me at the moment. Do I think Whatnot's a terrible idea? Absolutely not. But there's some people who actually think it's the worst idea, and why are people wasting their time? And there's people who are saying, all of you people who are saying Whatnot's not worth it, you keep saying that, I'll go make all the money live selling and get my stuff in and out. So it's a real split divide between people, which is always good. Always a good conversation. Liverpool, are you kidding? Thought we were friends. It's the accent, Michelle. I always assume you're up in Liverpool. But yeah, George, you'll come. We'll do a little Dunton meet up. Shell from Liverpool. Oh, don't even talk about Slimmer World, because I need to rejoin again for the 700th time. I need to shift this weight. Honestly, I have put on so much weight since working for myself. So this is the year that I'm going to be trim. And there's something else I'm thinking about. Maybe should I say this? I'm going to say it. It's not controversial, by the way. Why am I building up like it's really controversial? I'm about to say. I want to organize a charity, okay? Charity, remember that word. Reselling boxing event. I've done a charity boxing fight before, and I lost a tremendous amount of weight, and it was the best thing ever. So much fun. And I want to organize a charity reselling boxing event, a boxing night for charity we can raise money for, like an amazing cause. And it gives people a chance to maybe get them gloves on, or maybe give someone a bit of a left or right hook, someone they disagree with. Maybe we can have Whatnot versus eBay, or Vinted Pro versus eBay, and have a 6-on-6 card. Let me know in the comments your thoughts. Let me know in the side chat your thoughts, whether you'd want to get in the ring. Also, we could make it really controversial. Who would you want to fight? Who would you take on in the charity boxing match, and why? So, yeah, I have plans for that. I don't know how easy it is with licensing, but watch your space, because I would love to do it. I would love to do something for charity, raise some great money, have fun, make it a good night, and, yeah, gives people a chance to maybe, you know, as I said, give someone a left hook now and again. No worries, mate. Thanks, Carrie. Yeah, it was, I look out for that tag all the time. I made the mistake when I first started with the clothing, I must admit. I used to pick up tags like Hanes Beefy, for instance, and just assume that, oh, it's a really good like tag, it must be a really good shirt. And I quickly realized it's not always the case. So it's not all about the tag. But I know with some of the band shirts with like Screen Stars and AAA and stuff like that, they're the ones to look out for. So live selling is a hard no from me. Sold an Oasis t-shirt from the mid-90s, $49.99 buy, got an absolute bargain in my opinion. Oh, I think he probably did. I think he did. I always look out for the Oasis, the ones from 99. So, but hey, look, it depends what you paid for it, Steve, at the end of the day. If I paid a couple of pounds for it and it sells to £50, if they've then got a bargain and they might sell it on for 100 or 150, you'll still make some good money. So I class as a win. That would be interesting. Are you talking about the charity fight, Benji? Come on. Surely you versus Chuggles. It has to be. But yeah, let me know if you'd be up for that kind of thing and let me know who you'd want to fight. This would be interesting. Charity MMA fight. MMA is a bit too rough, Simon. At least with boxing, it's just your hands. You know, I don't fancy you kneeing me in the nose, to be honest with you, mate. Harry's not up for it. Scared you'll get hurt. Who would you like to fight? Here we go. This is where it can get clipped. Maybe I should clip this thing. Who would I like to fight? Oh, see, Warder's Clobber, just because we do the podcast together. But I would have to come down many, many, many weight classes to fight him. Who would I like to fight? Oh, I can't say. I can't possibly say on the live. There's a few people who I think would be a good fight and would probably like to fight me. So, yeah, I can't possibly say. I'm going to say Jamie Sully right now because I know he wouldn't train for it and I would. And I think it'd be an easy win. I reckon it's over in 1 versus Sully. Would I like to punch Jamie Sully? Sometimes, but not really. But I think it would be great. I think it would be a good charity event. I'm not sure where it's ever been done before in the community. As I said, I done one, raised a lot of money, and it was a really, really, really good night. Can I be the boxing fight organizer? Who versus who? Well, yeah, we might have to draw names from a hat shell, but you might be on the card. You might be fighting. We might put you up against. Who can we put you up against? Maybe Pawsey. Maybe we can have the fight to see who is the best out of your little live stream you do on Whatnot as well. Or here's another person that I could fight, Lee. Lee's in training mode at the moment, though, and he's quite built. So I think Lee would do me, to be honest with you. But it would have to be similar weight classes. It'd have to be properly put together. You know, it's not just going to be, right, guys, let's all meet down the local park and we'll just put some gloves on a swing. I'd like to do a proper event, but I don't know logistically if it's possible. I'm going to look into it, though. But yeah, I'll be keen to know whether people would be interested in either A, coming to the event or taking part in the event. Charity WWE Royal Rumble, over the top rope, last person standing. Yeah, that's maybe less vicious. Just chuck people over the ring rope. I think you go no training, no chance. If I tell you now, that's another thing as well, yeah. If you was to put your name forward for a charity boxing fight, you can't lose. You cannot lose. Could you come back to YouTube, Instagram, losing? I guess you can, really, because it is for charity. But I would be training every single day, Benji. Don't you worry, mate. WWE, the Royal Rumble, very good. Limelight Vinci wins the prize for the best name. Clip it. We can add to John Cena me later. Yeah, I'm sure people will clip it when I've said I want to fight Sully. Oh, Shell versus Hunley. Oh, I think Hunley wins that. I'll be honest with you. No offense, Shell. I think Hunley does your Shell. Oh, hold on a second now. Boxed a bit when I was at school. Great for fitness. Think I'm past it now. Oh, I don't like it when people say they boxed a bit before, Gary. You never lose it. You never lose it. Maybe you versus Simon. Oh, there's so many good matchups. So many good matchups. No fighting for me. I'm a huge win. Well, Michelle, you can organise it. There we are. I agree. Hunley is well hard. She would knock me out. I ain't going to lie. She would. Simon's up for it. Have a good tear up. He's always up for it. Anyway, we've gone completely off the subject here about Vinted Pro, talking about charity boxing matches, but I think it'd be quite fun. Where was I going with that? Oh, that was it. So with the YouTube content, I feel at the moment I'm just going to stick to the car boots. I'm going to probably do this weekly live, maybe not every week, but I think the content for me at the moment is just going to be lots of car boot footage because it's the stuff that I've really missed over the winter months, stuff that I enjoy making, stuff that I enjoy watching. Hopefully you guys can see some great things I pick up. And I think I will then just chuck in that life update, the what sold, come pick with me, processes. I might be at the point where I want you guys to kind of say to me what you want to see from the channel, because I watch a lot of the channels for certain things. I don't watch some channels for certain things. It doesn't interest me. But I think sometimes when making content, I think us as content creators, we feel it's more boring than you guys who watch it feel it is, because we feel we just do the same thing all the time. Hence why I've done the 24-hour lives times 2. Hence why I've done the car boot roadshow. Hence why I'm now in my head thinking, oh, you've got loads of time to organise a charity boxing fight. So yeah, I'm always interested to hear what people want from like a reselling YouTube channel. What is missing out there? What are you guys not seeing? Because if I can add to that, then great. All right, let me catch up. Hi, Jason. Good to see you. Someone has to lose. Yeah, absolutely. Do you know what? In my boxing fight, we actually drew, and I was fuming because watching the video back, all right, I definitely won. I was throwing the more punches. Don't get me wrong, yeah. You do all this training and they teach you how to punch and teach you how to like move to your left and right. When you get in the ring, you literally just do this. You just circle each other, just throw punches. It all goes out the window. Lana saying, should it not be car boot mud wrestling, lots of muddy fields? Well, there is at the moment. What I will say is I was looking forward to going to the car boots this weekend, but the weather at the moment looks horrendous. So I don't think it's any car boot sales for me again this weekend. I've been to one this season so far. I took the GoPro, but I didn't release the footage because literally I was in the field for about half an hour. It was terrible. Didn't get one thing. It was cold. It was dark. It was wet. And I regretted going. So hopefully, if it's not this weekend, next weekend, we're back to the car boot sales. And I'm going to be going every week, twice a week, Saturday and Sunday, maybe even 2 on Sunday. So hopefully I have a lot of footage for you guys to put out. And as I say, it's not going to be all clothing. I know the back end last season, a lot of what you probably saw was clothing. If you're not a clothing reseller, I get it. It's not enjoyable watching someone go through rails. It's going to be a real mix between clothing and small everything items. And then my plan is during the week to snipe online to get the rest as well. Talking of sniping online, I was having a chat with Tech earlier. I've got a real issue in my store at the moment. I'm going to talk about this in the UK call as well. And it's a good issue. I'm finding at the moment with my new model, I'm listing items and they're selling super quick. Now, you might say, why are you on here moaning about that? And I completely agree. But my store is not growing right now. So I'm listing now 12 a day as of this week. So 12 a day. But I'm selling like 13 or 14 a day. And what I'm finding, the 12 I list today, by the end of this week, half of them normally would have sold. So it's a good thing, a good problem to have. But the other issue is my store is not growing. So when I was looking today at the store value and how many items I've got in the store, I need to kind of free exit because I'm around 500 items in the store at the moment, which is low for me. I need to get to 1,500 items and then literally say I'm selling 15. I need to be loading in 15 and doing that constantly to keep it around the 1,500. But the trouble is my store is not growing. And the answer might be up your prices, but then you sell less. And the whole point is to sell items. So I was speaking to Tech earlier and the simple answer is the answer I thought he was going to say. You need to buy and list more items at the same quality, because that's another thing. I can go and buy some cheap items that do not have great quality. It's pointless. So I need to basically double my sniping, double my listing to list double the amount, but keep the quality high. And that is super tough. I don't mind saying, especially without car boots on at the moment, doing that just on Vinted alone is super tough. I mean, I get 15 to 20 a day on average, I would say. But if I need to get 30 a day consistently, that's a struggle right now. And it's not a struggle if you're just going to buy anything. But if you want to keep that consistency high, which I'm trying to do, getting the same level of consistently good stuff is really difficult. So yeah, after you said that today, I was like, yeah, as expected, back to the thinking board. But what I will say right now is things are going really well. Funny enough, after I put out a video about my best weekend ever, I had 4 days where it went back to how it used to be on eBay for me. And I was a bit like, I've jinxed it. What have I done? Why have I put out that video? Like, what have I done here? And then the last 3 or 4 days has gone back up to where it needs to be. And my advice to anyone, especially if you're new to reselling, this happens with eBay. You've just got to keep going and trust the process. The worst thing you can do after a bad sales day is to really let it get you down, because then it turns into 2 bad sales days because you're not listing, and 3 bad and 4 bad. Try and look at your graphs, like look at them daily. I do, but try and compare month on month compared to day by day, and you won't have so many ups and downs. I really struggled with that for ages, feeling like I've had 2 really bad days. What have I done wrong? What have I changed? You start panicking and feeling like your business model's not right. Trust the process and actually look on it month to month. That would be some advice I would give to people. Yeah, sponsored by Vinted Pro. Absolutely. If I'm going to be doing this fight, we're going to have to get eBay or Vinted to sponsor. Whoever pays the most money gets the sponsorship, as far as I'm concerned. Jay saying, last time I boxed was in the army in the late 80s, got banned for kneeing the other bloke. Right, okay, so I am not fighting Jason because he doesn't stick to the boxing rules, and he sounds like he can handle himself. So, yeah, I'm going to make a note of the people I'm not fighting. Start a car boot fight league. New scrap every weekend, different car boot sale. Well, to be honest with you, Benji, most car boot sales you see some kind of scrap or drama. So, yeah. Sticking with boxing, Jake Paul versus Mike. I couldn't believe this, by the way. For the people who follow boxing and saw this announcement today, Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. What an absolute joke. Iron Mike is one of my all-time favorite boxers, and I don't know why he's selling out like this. He must have no money left. Like, you cannot put a YouTuber like Jake Paul in the ring with Mike Tyson. Like, Mike Tyson, even now, especially back in his heyday, absolutely destroys, like, most people. Iron Mike was the one, and it's a joke. But I'll be watching it. Like, that's the thing with it. We all criticize it. It's like the fight this weekend with AJ and Ngannou. Like, it's not a huge fight, but it's intriguing enough that you want to watch, because will AJ win? I think he will. Is there a risk he could lose? Absolutely, there is. So that's what gets you in watching it. Luke's in. I really enjoy sniping on Vinted. You haven't said, Luke. I've never heard you mention that before. And if you just joined, Luke, you missed out, because I've challenged you to the boxing fight for charity. So I think it's only fair that you eat lots of food and come up to my weight, and so I have to do less training. So yeah, it's on, mate. Tommy's having the same issues. I think you're talking about the whole store not growing. Yeah, I've never had it before. I've always had the store grow quite comfortably, but now it's not growing and I'm selling more. It kind of says like you were doing it wrong before. And it's a weird one, isn't it? Because a lot of people, when you speak to them, it's like, I want to have a 2,000 eBay store or a 10,000 item eBay store. Now I'd rather have a 500 item eBay store if all 500 items were absolute bangers. But right now they're not all absolute bangers. So I'm trying to grow it with bangers, and then they're selling, and then all the good stuff selling. And anyway, you know what I mean? It's one of them. It's one of them good problems, I guess. Sponsored by by Gum Shields. Limelight, you've had 2 for 2 here. I should have actually done a little voucher giveaway for the best person who could do the play on words, and I think you would have won 2 vouchers from me, to be fair. He must have been on mushrooms when he signed it. Money talks, Tommy T. We know that. Money talks. I wonder how much Iron Mike is getting paid to fight Jake Paul. Must be crazy money. Donna's in. Donna's saying, I'm selling on average 5 to 9 items a day on Vinted, and the same item on eBay are 2 to 4 per day. I'm running my eBay store down to close, but I'm loving Vinted at the moment. So, Donna, are you going 100% Vinted? So are you because I spoke about this earlier, some people are. Are you leaving eBay completely and going 100% Vinted, or are you leaving reselling? What's your plans, Donna? I'm intrigued because I think Vinted Pro has got legs, and I've seen a lot of people like leaving eBay for other platforms and talking about leaving eBay for Vinted. So I'm keen to know the people who are not cross-listing across a number of platforms, but actually saying, do you know what? Where eBay was my platform, Vinted is now my platform, and eBay, see you later. So intrigued. What else have I got to talk to you guys about? I was going to play the offer game. Have I had an offer? I saw an eBay notification. Oh, no, it's no fun. It's a message. Let's do an eBay live message. Hi, could you tell me if the jacket is faded or still a deep black color, please? It's hard to tell from the pictures, but I know that flash photography can give that impression. I think my pictures are pretty good. All right, I'll go back to that one. I will struggle with them kind of questions. The questions like, let me know how you guys answer this, by the way. Do you ever get the question, on the scale of 1 to 10, what condition is your item? I had 2 of them last week, and they're like the impossible question to answer. On a scale of 1 to 10, how good of condition is your item? Because my 10 is going to be different to Limelight Vinci's 10, to Donna's 10. My 10 might be Tommy Trade's 1. So how would you guys respond to that kind of question? On a scale of 1 to 10, how good condition is your item? Oh, just someone paid. I thought we had an offer. I like playing the offer game live. No, I don't judge it at all. What's Mike doing now? Nowadays, it's something fun to get involved with. Having a moment of spotlight. Just see it as a bit of fun. Yeah, same as Floyd Money Mayweather as well. Floyd Money Mayweather constantly at the moment, all he does is exhibition fights, and he makes so much money. And look, let's be honest, if it was me, I'd be doing exactly the same. How good a condition do you think it is? Yeah, that's the response, isn't it? You know, on a scale of 1 to 10, well, my 2 might be your 6, or my 7 might be your 1. So yeah, they're like, it's an impossible question to answer. I just always say, really hard to get that answer because the scales can be completely different. Please see all photos attached. And normally there's about 20 photos, to be fair. So there's plenty of photos for them. And then I use the line, we offer hassle-free 60-day returns. So if you're not satisfied with the item, you can always return it. And normally radio silence from that point. It's very rare they come back and say, oh, great, thanks for the information, I'm going to purchase now. It's always radio silence. Although I had one the other day, to be fair. They made an offer for a shirt. I accepted it. And then they said, I'm quite broad. Is this shirt baggy? And I was thinking, it's an Hawaiian shirt, so I know it's quite baggy. So I said, it's an Hawaiian shirt. They are quite baggy. And they're like, perfect. That's what I wanted to hear. So I'm guessing that might be a return in a couple of days because they'll say it's not as baggy as they thought. I hate the question, what's the pit to pit? There's 2 pictures. Yes. Yeah, that classic one. What's the pit to pit? What's the length? All measurements are shown in the pictures. And then, Steve, I've had the classic one recently. Yes, but what's the sleeve length? Damn it. I never do sleeve length photos. I might have to start adding it. Does anyone else, by the way, in the chat, clothing sellers, do you add the sleeve length? Do you show a picture of the sleeve length as well? Am I missing a trick there? Because I never do. Should I be doing that for maybe jackets? Let me know. See, Floyd is different because he stayed training and fighting, obviously younger, but Tyson spent the last 10 years doing shrooms and stroking pigeons. Yeah. Yeah. Iron Mike is, he's still in good. He's still in like some shape though, Benji. Like, I would take Iron Mike shape right now. I can't lie. Same as Big John Fury. Like, why is Iron Mike not fighting someone like Big John Fury, who calls out every single person? Why are they not fighting? Like, he's fighting some like young YouTuber. And like, don't get me wrong, Jake Paul has boxed. But the main fight he had with the main boxer, Tommy Fury, he lost. So you can't be now heading over to Iron Mike and calling him out. It's disrespectful, I think. But money talks. Only on Blazers. I do pit to pit, shoulder to hem, and sleeve length. So maybe I am missing a trick with sleeve length here, guys. I've always just done pit to pit and length, but maybe sleeve length is the way. Don't sell many clothes, but usually do sleeve length when appropriate. Okay, it's something I need to add to the process. Yeah, because I do get that question. I mean, don't get me wrong, it comes up from time to time. And it's so frustrating when you've got to go and dig out an item from storage to bring it back, put it on the board to send the measurement. And again, I'd done one the other day, and again, it was radio silence. So that's always stressful. But I guess, look, if you give them as much information you can from the start, less questions, but you're still going to get questions. Then you get the person who comes along and asks for the width for the bottom of the trouser legs. Do you know what? Trousers, I do the width at the bottom. I've always done that because I used to get so many questions on jeans. How wide is it at the bottom of the leg? But I hate doing trousers. I'll do them because they sell, but I hate doing them. If I could never list another pair of trousers again, I would. But there's some good money in some of the trousers. Mr. Flipper, how are you, Sir James? Sir, I've been knighted. It used to be King James and I got dethroned. I'm good, thank you, Mr. Flipper. Hope you are doing well. Good to see you. Thanks for coming in. I think the suspect on it is Wheelie on Mike's side because he shouldn't accept, but he's sold out for anything. Anyway, can challenge you for a fight, but on you to accept. Oh, sorry, anyone can challenge you for a fight. Yeah, I thought you were challenging me to a fight, Benji. I was like, no, we're local, mate. I don't want to scrap down Shepperton. Yeah, absolutely right. And it does come down to that at the end of the day. It's money. It's like all the fights at the moment in sorry, if you're not into boxing, by the way, you probably come to listen to like us talk reselling. We've done a bit of that, but another one of my passions alongside true crime is boxing. Anyway, in Saudi Arabia at the moment, that's where lots of the big fights are happening. And even like Warren and Hearn have now like teamed up together to make these fights. For years, you could not even get them to sit in the same room and discuss any fights. Now there's all this money on the table. Suddenly they're happy to agree all the fights, have pictures together, best of mates. I guarantee once they do this 5 versus 5 and that all happens and it all starts to slow down, they'll go back to hating each other again. It's all money. Fletch, good to see you. Hi, James. I hope you're good and your wife is healing well. Thank you. She is. How do you deal with those zero feedback buyers who don't pay? I've taken to cancelling 4 to 4 days if no response messages. Great question. So when I first started reselling, I used to be really scared of them people with zero feedback. And it was someone quite early on who said to me, but you started on zero feedback. So now I do not care whether they've got zero feedback or whether they've got 100,000 feedback. In fact, some of the zero feedback people cause me less stress than people who have 20,000 feedback who are also sellers themselves. So you can see, you go on their store and they've got 1,000 items listed and you're like, you should know how frustrating it is when you don't pay. Anyway, to answer your question, I leave it to 4 days. The reason being is eBay says it does ding their account when they don't pay. So I send out a message every single day. And at the moment, I've got 3 awaiting payment. Let me give one the benefit of the doubt. Okay, yeah, one was bought today. I've got 2 awaiting payment from March the 4th. And they've ignored all my messages. I send them also a message saying, if you've changed your mind, no issue. Just drop me a message saying you've changed your mind so I can cancel it and relist it. And radio silence. It is super frustrating. There is an option I believe you can turn on now, or eBay are going to bring it in where you can make them automatically pay. But honestly, I just leave it sitting there. I send out my message and I wait the 4 days. eBay will automatically relist it. And hopefully that account will get a ding for non-payment. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But yeah, that is one of my bugbears with eBay. I just think like out of courtesy, like if you made an offer and it's been accepted, if you change your mind, just message and say, it's really sorry, I bought elsewhere. I've got no worries about that. In fact, what I do with that message is I say, no problem, thanks for letting me know. Here's a 10, 15% voucher if you want to shop with me again. Like, I'd rather turn it into a positive spin on that. But yeah, it's really frustrating. I hope that answered your question, mate. Good to see you. I was including all measurements, every angle, etc., but it was taking too much time. I decided to speed it up, be minimal with it, and got more listed, but also had more questions. Yeah, it's one of them. I like the photos and the measurements. It does stop a lot of questions. I'm going to start doing the arm photo, I feel. Although that question comes up once a week, maybe. So it's not loads. But there again, is someone going past my item? And because I haven't got the arm measurement, going to someone else's who doesn't buying it. So I might just give it the edge. So I might add that in. Shoulder measurement as well. Yeah, I don't ever do shoulder to shoulder as well. I do pit to pit, length, and then I'm going to do arm. I think you can go crazy with it. Honestly, you can start doing cuff measurement. You can start doing, yeah. Where do you stop? It's one of them, like Tommy's saying, that I think for me, there's a line between making the listing good enough to sell and getting the next listing up compared to overkill. When a buyer purchases an item and an immediate message you're asking to cancel, saying they made an offer on the wrong listing, do they have the option to cancel orders themselves? I don't think they do. I always select buyer ask to cancel if that's the case. But then, as I say, Tom, I try and turn it around and just say, no worries, appreciate things happen. Especially them ones, you know, the ones where it's like you go back and forth with offers 2 or 3 times. You finally go, do you know what? I'll accept your offer. And then they go, really sorry, my son had my phone. I'm like, you got a smart son because he's negotiating really well. So then I respond back saying, no worries whatsoever. I'll get that cancelled for you now. Please find attached a 10% voucher for your next purchase. And just leave it as that. So try and turn it into a positive. Geez, I get so many guest checkout buyers, around 15 to 20% of my sales every month. No way I'll refuse them. Yeah, and that's a thing. A lot of people actually see someone buy the item with 0 feedback and will cancel it. I think it's crazy because, as I say, we all started from somewhere. And don't forget, not everyone's got an eBay account. Now, some of these people might find your item on, say, Google, on other websites, and bring them to eBay and purchase as a guest or purchase a new account. And yeah, you might get the sale from that. So I never cancel anyone's order. I'll be honest, I don't even look at feedback anymore. I don't really look at my feedback and I don't really look at theirs unless there's some real alarm bells. Yeah, Andy's right. They can send a cancel request within a time period, 1 hour or so. After that, they have to message. Yeah. So I get that sometimes. If I accept an offer, I'll get an immediate cancellation. And again, I'll just drop them a message and just say, hi, what's the reason for cancellation? Just so I can make a note. Just in case they say, oh, I thought it was a medium and you've listed it as a medium, but actually it's a small. It might be one of my errors. So I always ask the question as well. And again, use that as a thing, like no worries whatsoever. If you change your mind, here's a 10% coupon, shop with me again. When people do arm, do they do shoulder to cuff or pit to cuff? Great question. Hopefully someone can answer because I'm going to have to ask that question myself. No worries, Tommy. As I say, I just speak about what I do. It's not necessarily always the right thing. I just talk about how I run things. It's not perfect, by the way. Yeah, I thought that they had the option to immediate cancel, just didn't want to get dinged. Yeah, be super careful of that. If you put buyer asked to cancel and they haven't asked to cancel, if they report that to eBay that you've done that, you can get dinged. And the other thing as well, if you lose an item, one of the workarounds used to be, if you lose an item, you can say to the customer, or the item's damaged, you can say to the customer, you can word it smartly, where you just say, hi, Joe, really sorry, gone to pick your item, realize it's really badly damaged, wouldn't want to send it your way. Would you like me to go ahead and cancel that order for you? And then that person would go back saying, hi, thanks for letting me know. Yes, please go and cancel. And then people then would use that as buyer asked to cancel. And from what I've been told now, eBay are getting really smart with that as well. So be super careful with the wording because eBay algorithm starts picking up on actually it was you forcing that cancellation compared to them asking for the cancellation. So just a word of warning on that one as well. Because I know it used to be quite a popular way. I used to do it quite a bit if you couldn't find an item to kind of word it in the sense of, really sorry, can't find the item. I can send you out a replacement, or would you like me just to cancel that for you and send you a coupon code for future? So yeah, you've got to be super careful. Pit to cuff. There's the answer, Benji. Pit to cuff. Your armpit is a definite end point, whereas the shoulder is subjective. Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I'm going to start doing that. Thanks, guys. I've learned something new tonight. I'm going to actually start adding that measurement into my clothing pictures for like long sleeve shirts and jackets and shirts. Obviously, for short sleeve, I'm not going to do it. Does anyone do it for short sleeves? I guess there's no point. But yeah, I'm going to do it to stop them questions. So, right. If you haven't answered, please go and answer the poll quickly, and I will come to you guys with the results of the poll. I'll give you guys a few more seconds. I believe I have to go onto my phone to do it. Oh, actually, hold on. We've got a computer sitting right here. Let me bring up the screen share of the poll, and we can get the results in if it works. I've never done a poll before, so this is going to be interesting. View your channel. Let's have a look. Oh, me talking. Oh, we can do it. I paused the video. So the question was, will Vinted Pro change the reselling game? And the question in the poll was, why can't I see it? Why can't I see it? Will you be getting a Vinted Pro account? Can you guys all see that? Share if I just like, yeah. Will you be getting a Vinted Pro account? 60% have said yes, sir, ski. 40% have said no chance, bloody Vinted. And you know what? That is more divided. We're going to end the poll. That is more divided than I thought it was going to be. Well, it says 60-39. Something's gone wrong there. We're a percentage out, but we're going to go 60-40. That's really surprised me. I thought it was going to be about 80% yes and 20% no. So, wow. All right, guys. Thank you all for coming along. Hopefully some car boot sale footage soon. I'm going to do the usual YouTube thing. Like the video on the way out. Yeah, where's the other 1%? I don't know. I think it glitched out there. Like the video on the way out. Drop a comment. Just put in there whether you are going to get Vinted or you're not going to get Vinted. Let's push the algorithm a little bit. Good to chat with you all. Thank you for all the advice you've given me. And let me know in the comments. Are you up for the charity boxing fight? Do you think it's a good idea? Would you be interested in fighting? Would you come and watch? Would you come and support? Let me know in the comments. Spam the comment section. And I'll see you lovely people very soon. I'm going to eat some dinner.